My name is Albert Stanley from IPRS. You said something about the view on the ground being not consistent with reality. I want to make the point that perception is reality. And the question, therefore, is that to what extent is the establishment and the mainstream media and the government able to monitor the true perception on the ground, and through this process to respond to it? Let me postulate the hypothesis that the situation is now like an iceberg, where the so-called new media is in fact what you don't see. The question which you have to focus on is whether this iceberg has a very large base or a narrow base. The situation is that you don't know. And our continuing description of this medium as the new media, contrasted with the mainstream media, is one of an highly dangerous attitude, in that it may no longer be just the new media, something that's new, trendy, but it could be the new reality. And perhaps it's time that we call it the digital media rather than new media. And it's not just semantics, it's one of attitude. And if we do that, we might be able to then truly monitor what the ground is thinking of, saying, and how we then respond through the same channel. Now, I don't have circulation or reach numbers, but I suspect that there could be a very high age bias in favor of so-called mainstream media. And that given time, and not too long time, you could have a pretty drastic shift of younger people who are actually more and more relying on SMSs and other electronic medium, and therefore channels of communication and of influencing and responding to perceptions could be very different. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the comment, Albert. Digital media, new media, mainstream media, I think we understand what it means, and this jargon, this whatever you use commonly enough. The question, I think, that is pertinent is how much of it reflects reality, how much of it, the perception and what they are postulating, how widely held is this, all right? If you were to listen to some of these sites, obviously they would want to try and tell you that they reflect reality, they are the voices of the people. But it's worth noting how many posts, how many comments these topics receive. Okay, so that's one indicator. And certainly we read them even if we are not able to respond to all these comments. We watch what are the topics that are attracting more comments, more attention, traction, and we also try and see if it's the same people commenting all the time. All right, the same people commenting all the time across different discussion boards and discussion fora, trying to see if they can move the ground on certain topics. So that's one. Two is that we conduct regular surveys on a variety of things, post-National Day rally, media consumption patterns of people, and we try and do so in a way that is as scientific as possible, as independent as possible. Hence, it is not done by MICA, it's done by independent bodies, and we want them to do so reflecting the demographics of the population, and of course we pay particular attention to, in media consumption, what's happening for the young, how are they behaving, and so on and so forth. So there is some basis, I think, when we say that by far, in terms of trusted news sources, the verdict at this point in time across the different age segments of course not evenly distributed across the age segments, the verdict is still highly in favor of the traditional mainstream media. Okay, how that will shift in 5-10 years time, it's hard to say. All right, but again, it is back to maintaining fundamentals. Okay, fundamentals in terms of values, in terms of reporting standards, in terms of accuracy, in terms of balance, that may not necessarily be found in other places. Not yet. Anyway. Okay, so that would be how I look at it.